Hello and welcome back everyone to Sunsaw Gaming. So we've got some player masteries for you today. And this first one sent in by Overwatch. Now he's driving the Super Hellcat, the tier 7 tank destroyer of the Hellcat variety. Because, well, it's American, but it's a Hellcat and it's super according to Wargaming. This tank actually pisses me off. Now, as you all know, the Hellcat is my favorite tank in the game. The Super Hellcat, it pisses me off. It infuriates me what Wargaming done with this tank. Not only the way they released it in the crates, that weren't even Hellcat crates, they were bloody M60 crates, that pisses me off. But other than that, the tank itself pisses me off. Yeah, okay, it's got a great gun. That's about the one thing that Wargaming done frickin' right with this tank. It has a great gun and it has no armor. Now, this thing's got a great top speed. It does. It can go just as quick as the Hellcat, but it's got a worse power to weight ratio, which means getting to that speed, like you would do in the standard Hellcat, just doesn't quite happen as easily. The other thing that really pisses me off is the penetration on this tank. I mean, you're at tier 7, you're a tier higher than the tier 6 Hellcat, and this tank doesn't have the pen. Unless you swap to the gold rounds. I mean, you use the gold rounds, it does well. But, I mean, I'm not a big fan of it. At tier, like, you start shooting at tier 8 tanks and you're going to struggle. And that's what pisses me off about the Super Hellcat. Now, I will do a video on this tank properly once I get it myself. But this is all about the mastery. This is all about Overwatch, and I love how he's taken himself to this position on Campzilla, or Castilla, as it were. And, I mean, you can see the enemy here, like, just that profile on that TD right there was red from this height. Like, it's not a good gun for the penetration values, but that reload right there is amazing. And you can see Overwatch, he's just going to hopefully just keep farming until the guy moves. He sees dirt fly up and he knows that that guy is no longer in position. But with the reload this thing's got, he's going to keep farming. This light tank over here is just making all the mistakes. And Overwatch is just going to pump round after round after round out in this match. Because of where he's put himself, because of the position he's got himself into. I mean, his entire team is over here, which is not the greatest thing for this map. Considering if they'd sent a light tank or a medium over A side, he could be in a lot of trouble. However, we know their light tank is also on the side, so the entire enemy team is over here with him. And this is why I love this spot. You're up here, you've got great camo in a tank like the Super Hellcat, you're sitting behind a bush, they cannot spot you, and anytime they try to push on your allies to get damage on them, you get all of the prime shots. And Overwatch is just going to sit here and utilize this position to its maximum potential. Just like that. There's a heavy tank pushing over the top, and I don't know why he's done that, to be honest. That was a very stupid idea for the enemy heavy there, especially with all of the tanks on Overwatch's team sitting right here. Now, those TDs have just been lit up, and so has Overwatch apparently. This SU-100Y just nuked him from across the map, and he's lost over a third of his hit points in that one shot. So that is the one thing you got to watch out for in the Super Hellcat, is you've got no armor. You have zero armor, just like the original Hellcat. You've got nothing there. And shots from big guns like the SU-100Y will hurt you. But that does not affect Overwatch at all in the slightest. He's going to stay in this spot, and he's just going to absolutely farm out as much damage as he can, dropping these nice HE shells into this steer over here. Gets a lovely track shot in there. Unfortunately, the steer had a repair kit. Does go for the blind shot, hoping to clip him over the hill there, but hits the dirt. I don't think he would have quite hit that one anyway. And this guy's still here. I don't know why he's still here. Honestly, he hasn't been seen for a while. He should have been flanking forever ago. But Overwatch takes full advantage of that. And now he's going to take full advantage of this TD. And just look at the red on that TD. That is not a strong TD, especially not with the height elevation that Overwatch is at and all of those factors. It's not a good TD, armor-wise. That was a beautiful blind shot there. I must say, that was amazing. Now it is a 2 versus 1 here. And it's just that SU-100Y who is left alive. Now, if I were fated with the reload of this gun and the hit points that he's got left, he could rush that SU-100Y and kill him. He can take a shot from him, so long as the SU-100Y doesn't max roll on an HE. Or ammo rack him. That would suck as well. But he does have the, he's got the speed, he's got the gun that can turn. He could get on the side of the SU-100Y, not a problem, and just absolutely clap him out. But he is going to go and cap base C. Smart move when you're in Supremacy, especially when it's coming down to the wire and you're not sure if the enemy tank has moved away and run away. You want to just make sure you guarantee yourself those points. But his teammate is pushing up around here. Overwatch is going to go with him. Smart move, stick together. Not quite sure why the AT pulled in there. I would have honestly kept going around. It's just as quick to go around as it is to go through the middle. But Overwatch is going to push through. His Overwatch is going to cut him off, and that is the right thing for Overwatch to do, to be honest. You expect the enemy to push through. You've got a fast enough tank to do it. Cut him off. And that's exactly what Overwatch is doing here. And there he is, one shot. There he goes, out the way. Bye-bye SU-100, back to the garage for you. And a very, very lovely ace mastery for our man Overwatch here. 4,516 damage, 4 kills, ace mastery, top gun, high caliber, all of that good stuff. Top of the team. And just look at that damage. He farmed off that hill to perfection. That is exactly what you want to do on Castilla in a tank destroyer. Don't do it in a medium or a light tank, guys. It's annoying. We're going to move right on to the next match here. Now, we have our good friend Marethyu in Normandy. Well, in the Conqueror on Normandy. Great hull down tank, this, to be honest. If you can get this tank hull down, it can do very, very well. And even when it's not hull down, if you angle this tank correctly, if you just hide that lower plate behind something, whether it be a dead enemy tank or just a little ridge in the hill or a rock or whatever, put it up against the building, side scrape out, this tank can do some amazing things. But here on Normandy, he's doing exactly what I would do. He is pushing straight for the middle. Now, guys, I do want to state, I have not actually watched this match at all. I have no idea what happens. And we're going to find out, so I'm just going to tell you what I think as we go through it. Now, Marethyu is a decent player, and he's got a play style after my own heart. He is very aggressive, just like I am, and he gets all the luck just like I do. Now, I'm not sure what in the flippin' world that leopard was doing. Start of the map. Start of the match on Normandy. Don't push across the center line, guys. Do not do it. You're just going to get wrecked. You have to at least clear some tanks before you move across the center line in the middle of the map. Especially if you're in a very soft tank like the Leopard one. No idea what that guy was up to. Now, as you can see there, Marethyu doesn't quite have the gun depression he needs to deal with that TD, which is not the greatest. But he's making the right move because he doesn't have those shots, because he's got allies there that would be better suited to it. He's pushed himself low because he's seen the enemies going down the side, and he's got allied support from his light tank and his medium here, and this enemy is just getting torn to pieces, absolutely wrecked. And you can see Marethyu being very, very cautious of that TD back there. And yep, he takes that blind shot. He does get shot in return. So because he got hit there, I actually think he might have hit the blind shot on the enemy TD. Whether he actually, and you can see him there asking if he hit. Fair call too. I would want to know if I hit that guy as well. Now, he does get spotted up again. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like he hit the enemy TD at all. Well, you know, these things happen. But at least he now knows where he is, and he's gone for another blind shot. Again, not quite sure if he hit that one either, but he's doing a good job. He's not pushing forward. He's not exposing himself to that TD. He is being very map aware. He knows that the enemy are pushing around. His teammate there clearly not being map aware. I mean, you got a TD staring at you, my dude. Don't just ignore him. There are 3 tanks back here that don't have TD support now. So, well, except for the TD himself, of course. But deal with them first. Deal with them first. But Marethyu's team, they're not doing the smart thing. They're not dealing with these guys. Great kill on the Death Star there. And just looking for his next targets of opportunity. You can see how he's keeping himself sort of hull down. He's keeping himself nice and low. It's not exactly the best thing for the armor profile on this tank, just because if there is a tank at a higher elevation than you, they can get a whole lot more of your weak spots. The armor profile as well becomes a lot weaker to anything at a higher elevation. So Marethyu knows this, and he's actually being a lot more cautious in this match than what I'm used to Marethyu doing. Nice little snapshot towards the enemy there. I mean, it was never going to hit him, but it's always worth the chance. Now, he does have this AMX up here. He gets a lucky miss from the enemy that's just pulled out on the right, who is aiming for the weak side of his turret. And, well, let's say Marethyu's not in the best position here. He is actually being flanked. If that AMX pushed directly at him and this other guy comes around on the side of him, it could change everything. But it does look like that heavy that is pushed across the top is going back to try and help his allies at spawn, which leaves this AMX very, very well alone. Gets a nice shot into him there. He knows his teammate's got the hit points to deal with him, but he's not going to leave his teammate in the lurch. He is just going to pick up that kill, save his teammate a little bit of hit points, because you never know. You could need that teammate. It is a 3 versus 2, and enemy tanks are everywhere. Now, I'm not too sure why that heavy pushed forward like he did. I mean, he kept those guys occupied, but I very much doubt that TD would have actually even moved out of that TD spot. Yeah. Anyway, moving on. Marethyu is just full YOLO sending here. He's got all of his hit points. He's kept them throughout the match. He does not have to be afraid of this VK. He knows the armor profile of the VK, and he's going to try and save his teammate. Great work from Marethyu, showing some very great team dedication there, trying to keep his teammate alive. Now, he doesn't continue to try and keep his teammate alive, but he does take a couple of shots. If the VK had killed his teammates there, I would have been disappointed in you, Marethyu. I would have been very disappointed. However, you do get the ace mastery. You do save your teammate. Nice 4,101 damage, 3 kills. And a very, very good match. Showing great map awareness, showing all of the good stuff. Cheers for sending that in, Marethyu. Thank you for sending yours in as well, Overwatch. I hope all of you watching this enjoyed. Don't forget to hit that like button for me and subscribe if you haven't. It does help out a lot. Until next time, guys, stay safe, use cover. Cheers.